Well, would you look at that? The legacy of Bob Iger, former CEO of Disney, has just been damaged even more. That Park Place says this one by Marvin Montenaro. You don't see Disney in the headline, folks, but we know what it's all about, and we'll tell you, we'll explain it to you. Fox acquires Roku for $22 billion in a massive streaming power play that could reshape television entirely. Fox Corporation has made one of the biggest moves in modern media history, announcing a $22 billion acquisition of Roku, and a deal that dramatically expands the company's footprint in the streaming space and potentially reshapes how millions of Americans consume TV. According to reports, Fox will acquire a controlling interest in Roku, with Fox shareholders ultimately owning 73% of the combined company, while Roku shareholders retain the remaining 27%. The transaction is expected to close in 2027, pending regulatory approvals and other customary conditions, which we see no reason it would not go through. Who knows? Maybe Pedro and Mark Ruffalo, they'll band together and try to stop this one too. For Fox CEO Lakeland Murdoch, the acquisition represents far more than simply buying a streaming platform. It's a bid to position Fox at the center of both traditional television and the rapidly evolving streaming ecosystem. All right, let's talk about what this means and what it is. As we do, I want to show folks what the size of this is going to be. Roku is currently at 3% of all streaming on American TVs. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN combined together is 5.3%, which means that any one of those three is likely less than Roku. You add in the Fox content that can go to Roku, and suddenly Roku, yes, Roku becomes a major player to take down Disney at the top of, well, top three, top four, whatever they want to pretend they are. Roku could actually take that spot once you add Fox content, and especially the sports. Jonas, you're an expert in all of this. I want to go to you. Iger, I believe, thought he had pulled off a heist, but they spent, what, $100 billion investing in Disney Plus to get it to where it is today, to get their streaming, probably even more. And now Fox has built something that might be bigger than Disney Plus for 1/5 of the price. This must be very embarrassing to
Bob. This is amazing. If you look at the history of Bob Iger at the Disney company, his only move was buying other people's companies and absorbing them in and hoping it worked out well. The only reason the Pixar one worked so well is because they hired John Lasseter to come in and run both Pixar and Disney animation. So they basically gave him double the responsibility there. In some ways, you could say that that entire acquisition was to hire John Lasseter. In fact, Iger admits so in his book. So he buys Pixar, he buys Lucasfilm, he buys Marvel, not in that order. And I guess Rupert Murdoch, Lachlan Murdoch's father, comes in and he says, you know what, I got an idea. So they sit down at a lunch, and Rupert Murdoch looks at Bob Iger and he bats his eyes and he says, oh, I do declare, Mr. Iger, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these legacy and streaming assets that I've built up over my career. I need someone to save me. And so Bob Iger says, sure, I'll spend more than all of this is worth to buy those off of you. How about $40 billion? And he says, well, I don't know. We're going to have a public bid for this. So Comcast comes in and says, how about 50? And then Bob Iger says, you know what? I really need to be the knight in shining armor. It's probably worth about 30. So why don't we pay $70 billion so that we can have Fox? I'm specifically going to label it so that it's to say that it's for streaming, even though most of these are TV assets, because we need to bolster our game here. We need to have all of Star Wars. Oh, we got to have those Fantastic Four rights back. We got to have those X-Men rights back. Look at all the wonderful things they've done with both of those. And so Bob Iger spends $70 billion of other people's money, gets himself $100 million for approving the deal, by the way. And then they spend another $10 billion buying the additional shares of Hulu. So $70 billion, $10 billion, not counting the cost of Disney Plus itself, which is at a minimum $12 billion, not counting the fact that they destroyed all of their other businesses in order to get here to this. And Fox, or the remaining Fox Corporation, or News Corp, or whatever you want to call it, turns around, they buy a little teeny tiny company named Tubi. Look at that. Tubi's got its 2.2% right there. Huh, look at that. Roku, they're going to spend $22 billion, which obviously 70 billion minus 22 billion. Huh, look at that. That's a big difference right there. So on 1/3 of the amount that Bob Iger has burned here to try to build streaming at Disney Plus, they're going to be 0.1% behind Bob Iger's precious streaming empire here.
But whoa, Jonas, let me stop you there and see what you think about this.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, okay, so you're right. When we add Tubi and Roku together, and I think it's very likely they get streamlined into being one thing. Okay, I don't know what they'll call it. Tubi, Roku, Roku, Tubi, Roku. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't even think they need to combine them into two. They're two different things. Tubi is a channel on Roku, and Roku Channel is its own thing. They don't even have to combine them.
Okay, whatever they do, it's 5.2%. Now, we believe that when you add in ESPN as a streaming service, that's how you get to that $100 billion mark for Disney in terms of investment for streaming. What Bob Iger did is, I think he thought, I believe that he thought that the Murdochs had just ended. You know, they were basically now a Fox Sports and Fox News company. And they took the money that he gave them, flipped it, and now they're going to have, for that price, for 1/5 the price that Disney paid, they're going to have a bigger streaming service than Disney. And the only way I see this as a win for Bob is, you're right. He got paid $100 million by the soaked investors, the investors who absolutely got hosed by this. Absolutely. He got paid $100 million. So he got another yacht. Yay, Bob, you got your yacht. But anybody who studies this, Jonas, now knows Bob Iger was a buffoon. And the Disney company and the damage that's been done to it is because of this kind of absolute just being owned strategically.
100%. Again, Bob Iger's only move is buying someone else's company. And essentially, when ABC was bought by Disney, ABC essentially took over the Disney company at this point. That's why they don't really care about the family thing. That's why they've just rebranded Disney Television and Animation to Disney Kids and Family, because they need something in that company that actually says family. And apparently Disney doesn't mean family anymore. So they have to add words to clarify what that means. Sure, Bob. Thank you.
I want to talk one more aspect of this. Marv, I want to go to you on it. So what kept the Disney company afloat all this time was Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So Marv, and they've raised prices to incredible levels. Now the demand has dropped because of this stupid. I mean, it wasn't dumb to get into streaming. It would have been better to just, sold their stuff to Netflix and made hundreds of billions of dollars off of Netflix doing this, but whatever. But the way they did it was ludicrously dumb. And now, Marv, the demand for Disney World is collapsing as people are not willing to pay the prices anymore. And Disney is forced to give out like half price tickets for summer to try to fill the parks. And that's even going poorly. So, Marv, the legacy of Bob Iger is just in shambles at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Like what Jonas said, he was just like, oh, well, imagine the value we're going to glean at for that really worked out well for you, Bob. The X-Men, we're not sure what they're going to do with that yet, but they're going to do something. But what we are seeing here with Walt Disney World was, one of the things that made Disney World the success that it was its accessibility. It was Michael Eisner's everyone's a VIP mentality. And then Bob Iger changed that to be, no, we have very clear-cut VIPs. You can pay to win at Walt Disney World. And it's not an even playing field anymore. And we're going to price it so that, we are pricing out the middle and lower class families. It's all 100% self-inflicted. And now they keep digging themselves deeper and deeper into financial holes with the streaming stuff, so they have to make the parks even more expensive to try to cover for it. And what they're doing is driving people away from everything. It is an absolute total abject failure. I do not envy Josh D'Amaro and the mess that he has inherited.
It's a huge mess. And Mo, the business acumen of Fox is amazing here too. To make it look like, and the news covered it this way, that they had essentially just given up all their stuff. They're just a news organization now, and they've got some sports ventures, and that's it. And they made it be like, well, the Murdochs, they're riding off into the sunset. And secretly, they took the $70 billion they got paid out of Disney's total $100 billion spend on streaming, as we've estimated. They took the $70 billion they got, and they spent $20 billion of it to get a conglomerate streaming service that's bigger than everything Disney has out of nowhere with $50 billion left to go, Mo.
That's amazing. Dude, that's great. That's like what you hope when you sell your house. You're going to get a nicer house and you can renovate it and make it better than what you had before. Yeah. My question is, it's Fox buying Roku. This is the marketing person. What are we naming this service? Whatever I've been thinking of, it does not sound good. FOKU. Yeah. No. It's ingenious, honestly. And I quite honestly, I enjoy using Tubi and Roku services. Like, honestly, they're legit nice. Like, yeah, you get ads, but they're not. Tubi's a bit bad, but Roku's is really good. It's like a legitimately good service. That's why it's done so well. We all think of the TVs and stuff, which they have that too. You know, we've all rented an Airbnb and went to a hotel. There's Roku's out there, people. But this service it's great. I think it's a great idea. And they're right alongside each other, and they can mix well together. And I think they'll end up doing better, especially with like what you said earlier, Pro, is the shows that'll come to the platform, the ability of the catalog of the movies they can show. It's really going to be good. I think it's a great acquisition, and it's like you said, it's done for a bargain, and they still have $50 billion in the bank.
There are a lot of movies that fall through the cracks in streaming, and you just kind of can't find them anywhere. And I think Roku is going to pick up a lot of them. It already has been, but now with Fox behind it, I think it's going to get a whole heck of a lot.
The loser in all of this is poor Rachel Zegler. Jonas, do you know where I'm going?
She's kind of the loser in all things, but
her next movie doesn't have a distributor. It doesn't have anywhere to go. Right? They haven't even started making it yet, but she's supposed to get another movie, and they're going to make it off of shoelace budget. We had said it might get a chance to go to Tubi or Roku. With Fox buying it, I'm going to say, Zegler, you're going to have to go somewhere else. I don't know. She might be on Russian TV at some point trying to find her way back on the TVs anywhere.
I can't imagine anyone at any of Disney's companies signing up to say, oh, yes, we want to sign up for another round of Rachel Zegler press junkets.
Yikes.
We've reached the end yet again. But ladies and gentlemen, we've had fun today, have we not? And until the next time we get to do so yet again, be a friend to the channel. Click that like button. Share your thoughts in the dialogue down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, well, we need you right here on Team Pro. Until we meet again, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.